Hello campers and welcome back. We are here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Google Sheets. So we're going to go through Google Sheets here and kind of give you a rundown on what it is that they're going to be expecting on the test, and a little bit, hopefully you'll gain a little bit of knowledge of some things that you can do in Sheets. Now I know a lot of you use Excel, and I get a lot back of, it's not the same. It's not, but there are some similar functions and features to it, and we're going to talk a little bit about those here as we move along. So this should not be too hard for you, especially if you are used to using Excel and some of the functions that are in it as well. So in Google Sheets, as you know, it's a spreadsheet, just like in Excel, and it's used to analyze, visualize, and chart data that you receive, and it works in conjunction with Google Forms, and it helps you do things like sort and look at those numbers in a glance. But we've also used Google Sheets in the past for hyperdocs as well. So then using formulas, students can enter in information into one square, and then it populates a whole nother section of the Google Sheet. So it's a pretty cool deal. So measuring student progress, being able to keep up with how students are working and how their success rate on different types of assessments and things like that in your classroom. Organizing classroom information or even information that you gather from forms. This is a great place to do that. And you can use formulas and functions, and that's what we're going to look at a little bit today, where you can find those formulas and functions and insert them inside of your Google Sheet. So how Drive transformed learning. So you can create project plans for groups, you can chart data, track progress, record keeping. This is really good for record keeping and keeping things up. And then of course creating rosters. And this is really good for uploading. You can create CSV files inside of Google Sheets. So they're going to ask you to do a couple of things here, and we're going to go through that here in our Google Sheet. So here you'll see I have a sample Google Sheet already up and created. This is our campers here and the different types of troops, or I guess camp clubs or camp, whatever you want to call them that they're in. You got the wombats, the tigers, and the zebras. And over the past month that they have been together, they have competed in some exercises, swimming, running, and biking. Okay, and so those are our numbers and miles that have already put. So like you say, a simple spreadsheet that we've already looked at and we've created before in the past. So one of the things they're going to want you to do is to insert a formula or a function, and to do some tabulating. So down here at the end, I'll just go ahead and select my cell, and I can come to insert and then go down to function. So here are all the different types of functions that are available to you. We're going to actually look at the sum function. Okay, and then there's an average function as well. But we're going to look at the sum function right now. So when I click on it, all I have to do is come over here and click on the cells that I want to be in my function. And then I click and I drag. So I click, hold, and drag all the cells I want in there. As you'll see, the B2 colon D2. And when I let go and I hit enter, there's my function. So now anytime these numbers change, it will add that up. If I want to carry that same function through to these next cells, all I do is click on it, wait till my cursor turns to crosshairs, and then actually drag down until I have mine selected and let go, and it will copy that function over into my cells. So now, no matter what number gets changed, say I change that to, 17. As you can see, my numbers and my totals have been updated. And that works with any sum or average function. Next, we're going to look at sharing our spreadsheets. So I'm going to go ahead and, just like anything else that you would do when you click share up here at the top, I got to give it a name, of course. We'll go with test 2. That's a very good name there. So I'm going to hit save. And so I'm actually going to share this spreadsheet with someone. Let's go with James. and making sure that I give James some editing rights in there. So by default, it's by edit. I can just give comment or view. You're pretty savvy on what it comes to do with sharing, so we're going to move on with that. Okay, next I'm going to actually, they're going to want you to freeze rows and freeze cells. So this is a really cool and really simple thing. So what I wanted to do is I want to be able to still see this row here, these rows of cells, when I scroll up and down. So when I scroll up now, you see how that top row goes away. So I'm going to go ahead and click on one. So it's going to select my entire row up here. And then when I go to view, freeze, and then I can actually tell it freeze row 1, row 2, or up to current row 1, or even columns. But I just want to freeze the row. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze row 1. So now when I freeze row 1 and when I scroll, you'll see my row 1 stays the same. So now I can still look at my data no matter where I'm at and be on the actual row that I need to be on. And I can still see how the miles did with the wombats and the tigers and zebras. All right. So the next thing that they're going to ask you to actually do too is to sort that data. Now, freezing helps with the sorting because it will actually give me, I'm going to want to sort over here all these numbers that you have here. I'm going to want to sort those particular things, but I don't want it to move my rows here up at the top. So I can actually come up here and click on my triangle that's in every single one of these cells that you see. So I'm going to click on it, and I come down and I can sort the sheet A to Z or Z to A. So when I sort A to Z, it's going to put my lowest number at the top and my biggest number at the bottom. Just for this column. As you see, it doesn't do the same. So we're going to go into inserting a chart. So I want to make sure that you understand how to insert a chart. It's not hard at all. So we're going to actually take a look at putting that chart. And we're going to put the chart kind of right here. That's where it's going to put it at for us. So when I go to insert a chart, it is what I just said you want to do. You're going to click on the insert button and you got chart. So click on insert, click chart. And then it brings me up this little menu here that I can kind of walk through and basically select the different charts that I want in my data that I want to go on the chart. So when I hit chart type, here's my chart. I'm going to pick, let's go 100% stacked column chart. And then I have my data range up here. And I can click on the select data. This is that little square. So you'll remember some of this from Excel. So I click on it. And I'm going to go in and I want to select all of my data. So I'm going to click over here and I'm going to highlight everything. You'll see it'll start to change my numbers and my cells in my blank there. So when I click on that, I let it go. Everything is selected. And when I hit OK, there you go. It populates my chart. Now, I don't really like that the way it looks. I'm like, that doesn't really give me an accurate number of what I want to see, the data I'm wanting. So I can actually just go in here, click on chart type again, change it. There's my columns. As you can see, the tigers are on fire in everything. They get it done. They get it done when it comes to our totals. Okay, so they are in the lead, of course. Now, once again, if I want to change that date range, or if I want to change our data range, I can go in and select as well, and it will allow me to change that data range. One of the other things that they're going to ask you to do, if I want to bring back my editor over here, if I just double click on my chart, it brings that back up. One of the things that like I said, that they're going to ask you to do is put this chart on another sheet. So you're going to end up creating another chart, and put it on that sheet. So in that chart, you'll see the three little dots at your menu button, and you click on that, and then you're going to see how you can edit the chart, you can delete the chart, save the image. We're going to come all the way down here to move to own sheet. So when I click move to own sheet, it just created me a sheet. So here's sheet 1. Here's sheet 2. It still says test 2 up there, but now it's on a different tab. And so that's what they're going to want you to do, is to publish this somewhere else so that your data is here and your visual display data is right there available for you as well. And then from here too, I can copy, edit. I can even publish this chart on the web. So say I wanted to publish this on the internet somewhere, maybe even Schoology, especially those of you doing your marble counts. So then you can go in and edit that on the sheet. And when I edit it on my sheet, it will reflect the edits inside of my chart. So like I said, we can do this on a website. We can do this basically anywhere. That's what the publishing chart does. It gives me a URL and I can embed it. It's pretty cool how Sheets works like that. All right, so another thing they're going to ask you to do is to do a direct comment to direct that person to the chart that you have created. So I'm actually going to create a comment for the chart and tell them exactly where it needs to go. So when I click on it here, and I'm going to actually click on the 3 dots or insert comment, however you want to do it. So when I click on insert comment, I'm going to actually hit the plus sign, and then it will allow me to directly comment to the people here on my list. So if I hit James Hughes, I can even assign the comment to him and be like, that way they know to mark them when it's done, or if they know that it's available to them. Or I can just click here and then underneath there type in, hey, what do you think? And then this comment will go directly to James. So he should get an email saying, hey, what do you think? So he can look at this chart as well. If I want to edit that, I can actually come in here, hit my 3 dots. I'm actually going to edit. I'm going to say, hey, what do you think about the chart? So like I said, I'm commenting directly to James about the chart. So if he could, if he needs to add something to it or take something away, he knows that he needs to go in there and take a look at it. And when he's done, he can go ahead and click resolved, or if he's completed with it. Okay, so that was Google Sheets. And that's, like I said, some of the things that they're going to ask you about when we get together. We're going to go over a little bit more so you can ask different types of questions. And we'll talk about protecting cell ranges as well. So say you don't want people to edit the things that are in your cells or in your sheet. we're going to work on that together when you earn your merit badge. So once again, thank you for listening, and we will see you soon.